So that gets us into the Stargate sequence, which is rather psychedelic. Uh, do you have any personal? What are your personal thoughts on that sequence?
Well, all the psychedelic colors and shifting patterns make for a disorienting scene, but I suppose down to its core, the Stargate sequence is yet another quote unquote yet another point A to point B sequence. But it is, I suppose, the most the clearest and straightforward of those scenes. I suppose I always interpreted uh, well these flickering colors as just I suppose faster than light or travel or shifting through dimensions or whatever means the Stargate employs to take Bowman to take Dave to the end game. So I suppose the scene these judging by that interpretation these colors have a function to them, and I suppose toward the end of that sequence you see odd I suppose odd swirling visuals that look rather like seem as if they were rendered using oils or something like that. The novel actually depicts, explains those as stars. Say, for instance, you see a large red globule with a brighter white globule orbiting it. According to Arthur C. Clarke, that is in fact a binary star system. As such, say just ignoring the Renaissance hotel flat or whatever Bowman arrives in, these scenes toward the end of the Stargate sequence, or the infinite as it happens, they depict an even further destination for our species. Say, well, as far from the ape men, as far from the lunar colonists, as far even from the Discovery crew members as you could imagine. Say these stars and shifting dimensions are I suppose portray our ultimate destiny, bar the space this transcendent space fetus at the end. That's how I see the Stargate sequence.
Okay, and after that, could you tell me what meanings you see in The Sixth Sense? Just to throw you a curveball here.
I actually haven't seen that, I'm afraid.
Oh, well, my point is made moot then.
I'm sorry.
I have seen The Sixth Sense, which Confused Matthew stated as a film with meaning you have to work to, which I really like to know where he's getting at with that, because I don't see anything even close to, for example, what you just worked through with the Stargate system. I don't see anything even remotely meaningful throughout that film, or hidden, or anything like that. He also brought up, concerning finding meanings in things, he brought up Jurassic Park, and he explained it about a cautionary tale towards science and all that stuff, which is a meaning I agree with, because it's spelled out for us. It's obvious when watching Jurassic Park, because we got characters like Jeff Goldblum's character, who's there simply to deliver that meaning. He's really isn't there for anything but to spell the meaning out for the audience.
He's just exposition in black leather.
He sure as hell isn't there for chaos theory. Which kind of, and that's kind of a thing with Spielberg. As much as I like the director, the guy kind of wears his heart on his sleeve. His films aren't exceptionally deep, and his meanings are more spelled out.
Yes. Whereas 2001 is, well, as we both demonstrated, a very profound movie, and yet it gives you a workout as you try to understand it and tease out the various meanings.
Exactly. I can't see how that would be bad at all.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good thing, yeah.
On a whole, do you believe in? I hate using this word because I almost always use it wrongly, but visceral cinema that is attempting to be more symbolic and subtle than a classic narrative film. You know, from 2001: Space Odyssey to full-blown avant-garde. How do you feel about those kind of things?
I suppose, well, I wholeheartedly approve of those sorts of films and know that they can work. Well, Avalon by Mamoru Oshii is laden with symbolism, even down to the sepia shaded camera work used for the real world and the virtual world inhabited by our protagonist. The director never clearly addresses whether Ash's real world, quote unquote real world, is in fact real. He leaves it entirely for our own speculation, for us to decide. So Avalon is, as I mentioned in one of my past reviews, it is one of my favorite, well, in my top 9 favorite films. So I suppose there are fewer more symbolic, less, and there are fewer films with more symbolism and less narrative out there, but only because directors are less willing nowadays to experiment with those sorts of approaches.
Well, I think producers are actually more the problem, because they aren't exactly, box office gold mines. Now, you brought up Oshii, which brings up another one of my favorite films by the same director, called Angel's Egg, which is one of his anime films.
Don't know of it. Strangely.
Which is largely is almost entirely non-narrative and is entirely symbolic, largely with Christian imagery, and while I haven't been able to find a solid interpretation of it, like Confused Matthew, different people have different interpretations of Angel's Egg. It clearly is trying to get at something.